Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and welcome to another sort of Convallaria video. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about why I think you should consider playing this game. So, first, before we jump into it, there's one most important thing here. My hair's wet. I got out of the shower, all right? I work for a living. Get out. That's not what it's about. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. First and foremost, this game is a gotcha. Now, I do think there's a little bit of a caveat to that in a sense, but really, it is a gotcha. And no matter what I say coming up next about why I think you should play it, if you know yourself and you know that gotchas aren't your thing, or you know that you have a tendency to fall into that, then you should probably best avoid it. It is a gotcha. It is going to have the ability to spend thousands of dollars if you want to. However, that doesn't mean that you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to have a good time. In fact, I would argue you could spend pretty much $0 for, I don't know, a very, very long time and get a very complete, fun experience. But I do want to put it out there up front that it is a gotcha game. So first, why do I think you should try out this game? One, and probably the biggest reason for me personally, not the biggest reason, but one big one here, is that I'm currently playing on the computer. In fact, this game is just on Steam. It has a store page on Steam. So you can just download it through Steam and then play it here. And then you can also play it on your phone. So I'm huge on the cross-platform stuff. Like, I've played Octopath Traveler, Champions of the Continent. I've played Dragon Quest Tact. And when I have to play on my phone and create content from my phone, it's just like, there's not a computer version of it. It is such a fucking nightmare. It's so not fun to play a lot of these games in a way where you can't play with the controller or you can't play with the mouse and keyboard. So the fact that this game has that is huge. But the second point why I think you should try this game is on Steam, where it's a computer. Most people are going to have that, or even a Steam Deck or something. There is a free demo of the game. Now, the demo starts off a little weak for the first hour. It's a lot of just like kind of story and world building. It doesn't do a great job of giving you game mechanics early on, but it's kind of story driven. And it's still enjoyable, but it's like I was trying to get mechanics basically. But there is a estimated 10-hour demo on Steam you could check out right now until the game launches. You can do polls in it, but you can't do anything in the shop. None of your progress is going to carry over. So this is merely to see if this is the kind of game you want to play. And it says 10 hours. I'm at like, I've talked to people that are at 14 hours. I've talked to people that finished it in 8. So it's content. It's not based off time played. It doesn't seem like. It seems to be based off the content. So there's like one story arc that takes you roughly 10 hours to complete. And then you could replay it and stuff, probably not in the demo, but basically it's an expansive demo. You could just try the game out, see if you want it, all right? Very good reason to jump in and just give it a try, especially because, like, for me right now, I'm kind of in a lull of games, and so this has been perfect. I mean, there's games coming out like First Descendant and stuff, but it just, I'm not looking for a looter shooter, you know? I really, really, really want a tactical RPG, which is what this is, and which is another reason why I think people that love Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff should check this out. Let's just go into and do a fight. These are going to be heavily story driven. These aren't going to be like difficult fights, anything like that, but it will give you an idea. We can at least show you the combat. You can take a look here. I got Lash. I bet some of these characters are really good. This isn't like a meta tier list thing. So there's going to be a little bit of a story here, and we're going to try not to spoil it. I mean, I guess, but like they're going to do something here, but then I'll be able to show you the combat and how it works. Oh wait, here we go. We could skip. No, we can't. Not here. That's right. Round 1. They skip. We don't really get to do round 1 normal, just because this guy jumps up and we do this thing here and we ignite the ground behind it. There we go. All right. All right, edit this out, Platt. Edit this out. All right, here we go. So here's what you can see, right? It's a tactical RPG through and through. You can take a look at the Fire Emblem style, like what enemies are going to target which units. Like if I move here, suddenly I could be targeted by a lot. You could click this button here, and you can see the turn order of all the units, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like all 4 of these are going to move next, and then my team's going to go, so that might change my decisions. It also brings up like basically a weapon triangle up here. This one's interesting. Light defeats darkness. Darkness does not have an advantage versus light. So this is the only one that never has an advantage against anything. But I assume that doesn't make it the weakest. I assume that it just will have some other... I mean, it's weakest on paper, but I bet the units are going to be busted. And then you could take a look at characters here, right? Right, so you get reaction moves. You get, you know, your normal attack. You can get better versions of it. Then you get 3 different skills that are customizable. It seems that they'll get like a pool of skills and that you can choose different loadouts for them. And the talents, you can level them up, you give equipment to them. So it's like, it's got this whole awesome tactical RPG experience, right? That I've been looking for. And it's actually been very tactical in a sense that I didn't expect, where it's not just units. Like Dragon Quest Tact was all about the units. This is like, these barrels can explode and deal damage. You can knock people off the edge and just straight up kill them. The fire tiles deal extra damage. So there's like a lot of fun, interesting mechanics going on here. And also there's actually, like, I don't have any attacks with like good animations right now, I don't think. But there's some attacks that have like these really good animations. Let's see if I can find one. Or just like, the game is well animated is all I'm gonna say here. Like, let's move here. And we'll attack this guy. Like, these are just like normal units, but I wanted to show this guy. This guy has a really cool attack here. If you get up here and you fight, you can also drag and drop if it's like hard, if you're having a hard time clicking the tile that you want to click. But then here, we got this cool move here, right? They just do like a cool slash. They get more flashy than that, but you understand what I'm trying to show. There we go. So that's the reason I think a lot of people should be checking this game out. Oh, we lost. We just lost our energy. Actually, we didn't even lose our energy. That's another good reason right there. It's nice. But also the final reason, and I think probably the biggest reason people are going to be interested in this game, is the thing called Spirals of Destinies. If you're against the gacha, you could download the game, get through the point where you can enter the Spiral of Destinies, which means you don't need to spend any money to get here. You'll do a 10 pull because it'll be part of the tutorial or whatever. But then you can go into the Spiral of Destinies and you can just do this. This is separate from the gacha system. Now, not entirely devoid of it, because basically what this is this is the single player mode. When you pull on characters, they go into your pool of characters, and the characters you can bring in here, you can bring up to 5 characters, and they can be from your gacha, basically, right? The characters that you pull in gacha, you can bring in here. But what's most important is the power level is all reset. There's nothing like dupes, nothing like that that's important. You could bring 5 of the lower tier characters and clear all the content in this mode, at least at this stage of the game. Who knows? Maybe they power creep it later, but you can get dozens of hours, like, 10 hours for one playthrough and then another 10 hours for another playthrough, and get different stories and different outcomes. This is the super story driven mode. And the characters you bring won't change the story. It'll basically just be your combat options. But when you go in here, you've got basically a whole system separate from the gacha. So if I wanted to highlight here, let's actually go back really quick. Let me show you a character that would be out. Like, this is my PvP team and things like that. You come here, here's a character, right? You can see her level. You can see she has a rank. And by getting dupes and increasing her rank and her talents and stuff, you can max out her stuff, increase her star level this up, get her insane equipment, and kind of like whale to make her really, really good, right? However, when you come into the voyage and you go into the Spiral of Destinies here, if we go into it, it's actually totally different. Like, let's look at our characters in here now. So our selection is going to be different. Like, I don't have this character at all. I don't have this character at all, I don't think. I think it's Catherine I don't have. They'll give you a different selection of characters sometimes, but you'll bring some characters in. But I brought her in. As you can see here, look, you don't get dupes. You can't level up her trait, and you can't level up her tailored training. So this is basically stuff that you need to level up within the story content itself. And the gear you get, as you can see here, is different. There's even one less gear slot, but the gear is you obtain in this mode. So the power of the units and the level always resets. So it's going to be contained within this single player mode. So yes, your selection of units will change if you are heavy on the gacha. And if you get one copy of every unit, you'll always have one copy of every unit for this mode. But as far as I can tell from the demo right now, there isn't a reason to go for dupes if you're only going for this mode. And honestly, you don't even need to go for new characters. It seems like you could just go for the fun, just pick your 5 favorite characters and go through the story like that. So those are some of the reasons I think you should check out this game. It's been incredibly fun for me so far. Now, most of the gacha stuff is still offline, right? Like, I can't really buy stuff. I can't progress into the PvP modes. I can't progress into the Fool's Journey. So a lot of the game is still locked off. But this Spiral of Destinies alone is such a fun experience. It's such a smart idea. But this is why I wanted to preface this video first with saying it's a gacha. So Spiral of Destinies is incredibly, you could say, generous if you want. It's basically a free, incredibly fun TRPG video game with its own self-contained progression systems and story and stuff like that. completely free when you download the game, and you can play that. But that gets you into the ecosystem of a gacha. So you got to keep that in mind. If you're like, yes, this is fun and I like it, your foot's in the door. Maybe you finish this and you want to go, like, I don't know, there's nothing else I want to play. So you start exploring other modes. Suddenly you start wanting to spend your currency, maybe spend $5 here. You're in the ecosystem of a gacha. So be aware of that. However, if you're being an adult and you're in charge of your finances and you know what you're doing, then I think that this is a perfectly very generous way for them to be running the game. So that is all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be making more videos on this game. If the game comes out fully and it sucks, I'll update it and I'll say it's bad. Like, I'm playing a demo, but the demo's been great. But it's hard to tell when you're playing a game like this. Is it going to be good a month from now, 2 months from now? Does the content just dry up and get repetitive and grindy and boring? Or do they keep adding very interesting things? Is the game oppressively expensive, or is it relatively free-to-play friendly? What is the game going to be like? I'll let you know. But right now, I've got nothing but positive things to say. I've been impressed. I've decided I'm making videos on it until something else comes up, and until I have a reason to not, basically. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you in the flip-flops. Bye!